Hi guys, welcome back. Day 28. Oh my gosh. And what a ride it's been. But we are not over it yet. Our numbers are starting to look better all across the world. It doesn't mean that we're going to be able to go out yet. California just renewed their stay-at-home lockdown for another 30 days, and we're up in a couple of days here in Nevada, but I have no doubt that Isla, our governor, is going to renew it. It's going to take a while before the world starts to go back to the way it's been. In fact, in China, their numbers have been going up slightly, which is kind of scary. They just released their people. They just started taking some of the restrictions away, and as soon as they did, their numbers started to go up slightly, which is really an indicator of what this is going to do. Hopefully, it's going to react like the flu. And as we get closer to the warmer months, it will dissipate. And then, unfortunately, it's probably going to come back like the flu. But that's going to give us a little bit of time to prepare and get our acts together. We're going to start another project, another picture. And I got asked I get asked every once in a while. It's not a lot, but every once in a while, if I would do a Cheng picture. And just last week I got asked again, and I turned that down many times. And the reason is because she does her own pictures. She does her example, and she's a fabulous artist. I mean, really fabulous. She doesn't need help from the little people. Cheng is Cheng. But I did get curious and I looked, and she did not do an example of Isla. I don't know if she's planning it in the future, but she hasn't done it yet. So I'm going to sneak in and I'm going to do one of her pictures. Now, there was a couple of choices for Isla. I downloaded it, was like $4. It was $3.90 something, basically $4. And it came with two versions. The first version is just her, and she's beautiful. It's a grayscale. Both her pictures are grayscale. I wished it was linear completely, but she did do something as far as linear. So she did a grayscale. This is a fabulous picture just on its own. I'm sure I could do it justice. But then she had this one where she added in some linear objects, and I just happened to also be asked if I would do some individual objects. So I really thought this one would be it. It's beautifully done, and it's both cartoony and real, so I can add both. Now, you have printing options on it too, at least in my printer. If you print it in color, this is what you get. And you might saying, oh, that's too washed out. This is what I consider perfect when I see something like this. The lines are so light, it becomes sketch-like, and you can go hyper-real on this easily. So it's a challenge for me is, do I want to do one that I enjoy, which is really this one. If I was picking without thinking of other people, I would go with this. But most of you guys were going to choose this, and this is a teaching channel, and I'm going to go with this one. So this is what we're going to be starting tomorrow, is her picture. I'll give you a day if you want to download it, or we could do it together. I wish a coloring book would come out just like this. As light as that, but then people wouldn't understand it and they would complain about it. So they would be like, oh, the printing on it is not good. Yeah, no, the printing is perfect. Back when I was a kid on Long Island, there was a restaurant called Raynor's Chicken. It was on Sunrise Highway in, I think it was Baldwin. Well, if you wanted your kids to eat, you got them Raynor's Chicken. Everybody grew up on Long Island knowing Raynor's Chicken. And particularly, they were very famous for their corn fritters. Now, they were so good. Everybody got one, except for Christmas. You got two, and that was a Christmas gift. I was an adult by the time they closed down. But the public Loved them so much. They were like berated with requests to reopen, which they never did, but they did do something else. They rent out for a certain time restaurants, and they'll go in for like, a 2 week spurt or a month here or a weekend here, and usually you have to order in advance, and so they're like a roving restaurant now. If anybody is on Long Island, they are at the Coral House in Baldwin right now. This is about as identical to Raynors as you can get. These are about as close as you can get, and these are so good and so easy to make. You need your dry ingredients in one bowl and your wet ingredients in another. For your wet ingredients, you're gonna beat 2 eggs lightly, so that it's just mixed up and it's not gooey. The yolk is nice and light, and you're gonna add in a cup of milk to it. And then you're gonna add in 3 tablespoons of butter. Mix that all up. Now, in another bowl, you're going to mix 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, you're going to dig out your flour from the bag, 2 cups, so it's packed. And then what you're going to do is sift those 2 cups. So it's really 2 cups. It comes out a little bit more because you fluff it up, but it's 2 packed cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to need 2 full teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon of sugar, and you're going to mix all of that up together. Then you're going to take 2 12-ounce bags of frozen corn right out of the freezer. Leave it frozen. Mix your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients, so it becomes a very thick batter. By the way, that batter is fantastic around the hot dog. Dip a hot dog in it, fry up a hot dog. It's amazing. For the corn fritters, you mix everything together, your wet and your dry. You're going to get this really thick, heavy batter. Then you're going to take 2 12-ounce bags of the frozen corn, still frozen, dump that in, and fold it until the kernels are all coated in it. And then you're going to put it in a deep fry. You're going to need about a tablespoonful. I made them a little bigger, a little bit more than a tablespoon. And I put 4 cups of oil at 360 degrees, so you want it nice and hot. And then you're going to fry it up for about 1.5 minutes on both sides, so that the whole outside turns nice and crisp and golden. Now, if you just stop at that point, the inside's going to be very doughy and mushy. You're going to take it out of the fryer at that point once it's golden, drain the oil, put it on cookie sheets, and then you're going to bake in an oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes, and the inside will get really nice and bread-like. I know they could sit overnight. Like you could reheat them. They're perfect for reheating, like in a toaster oven. I've never frozen them simply because I'll never have any to refreeze. But they are so good. Serve them hot with a little bit of powdered sugar or some honey. You will want it today, and then tomorrow you're going to be thinking about the next time you're going to make it. It's that good. Well, as the night turns into day, it's my bedtime. And I'll see you later tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, and above all, stay in. Bye-bye.